There we go, Miss. There we go. Skype is alive. We've hit record. You got a message that we are recording.
Awesome.
Perfect. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. On my right-hand side is my right-hand man, Gabriel.
I don't know what to say.
Okay. Today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Protokult, who's got a new album called Transcending the Ruins, which was released on October 1st. Right now I'm being joined by Martin to share some more information about the album, a couple of tracks, a music video, what the band has been up to, what they have planned. So, Martin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, the funny thing is, when your stuff came across my desk, I thought, this seems like the kind of band that probably has quite the scene going on in Toronto. And I'm curious, tell us more about Feed Your Demons. What in the world is this track about?
So initially, it was one of the last songs we ended up recording. We just had a few nice heavy riffs, and it's about just kind of coping with your addictions and demons, and kind of staying on top of things. And some people, they really need even if it's just coffee or drinks or whatever. It's about kind of learning from mistakes, but also indulging, I guess. So it's you can either learn from it or it could bring you down. Hopefully, it's the former.
Yeah, so a more positive spin on feeding your demons.
Yeah.
Okay, they mentioned it was one of the last songs that was recorded. Was the tone of the album already set then at that point, I imagine?
Yeah, it was definitely the heavier, darker stuff. So we were just fiddling around with a couple riffs, and we're like, okay, yeah, we need some more blast beats. So we have a nice little female section there. And yeah, it kind of came together quite well.
Mm-hmm. Now, interestingly enough, it's one of the lead singles off of the album, and actually gets a music video. So I'm curious, what was it about Feed Your Demons that said this has got to be the one that lets people know this is what to expect from the album?
Yeah, we didn't want to go into that kind of gimmicky folk metal direction. I mean, it still has folk melodies and themes, but wanted something a bit more serious where, yeah, we have those female vocals still, as well as some bacchanalian themes of partying and excess, but also some of those traditional and just heavy rock and riffs that make metal great in the first place. That's kind of that's always been the foundation, really.
Yeah. Now take us to this music video. What went into crafting this music video?
Oh God, it's well, first of all, we wanted to do just a basic lyric video, and then fortunately, some people in the band have access to green screens, and they're quite well versed in the craft of directing and editing and all that stuff. So yeah, we just had some fun near the fireplace, had some drinks, and then one of our beloved ladies dressed up as a demon. We whipped out some horns and daggers, so it kind of follows the metaphorical plot loosely, but it's of course open to interpretation as well. So yeah, lots of fire, lots of drinking, a little bit of murder, and you got a lovely heavy metal product.
Hey, just a little bit of murder, throw it in there, no big deal.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, one of the other tracks that we wanted to chat about was Troubled Lad, and then it looks like there's something here in a language that I'm probably going to murder. Speaking of murder, if I tried to say it, Slainte Mhaith.
Close. I appreciate the effort, John, but it's Gaelic, and you say Slainte Mhaith. If you ever met any good Scottish or Irish folk, it's just it means to good health, right? So yeah, Troubled Lad. It's going to be the second single coming out in about a month before the actual album, and it's dedicated to our dearly departed keyboardist, because he was in the band for a few years, and he was studying this weird language. He actually went to Harvard for it. So yeah, he had to quit the band because of it, and he was a good keyboardist, good guy to party with, and we all kind of dearly missed him. And in his honor, we kind of wrote this song, kind of tongue-in-cheek, And yeah, like there's this stupid melody that's he used to play all the time just to warm up. It's not even an Irish melody. It's the Finnish Aivan polka. It's a famous like Finnish tune. A lot of bands have used it. It's traditional. And yeah, we use that as the theme, but the lyrics and the concept have nothing to do with Finnish music. So there's this Finnish melody, and it's dealing with an Irish Canadian guy trying to find himself. And yeah, I guess that's our dabbling in multiculturalism, John.
Very much. So Canada painted in the mosaic as best I think it's possible, putting the puzzle pieces together. And fantastic. Now, a little you mentioned there was that it was something that he was warming up with, and it happens to be a Finnish folk theme. Is there something like that runs kind of as a theme throughout the album, where trying to bend on or borrow on traditional either musical scales or musical notes or musical themes?
Well, yeah, there's a couple of nice parts where like our female singer Ekaterina, she's part of a bunch of like Eastern and Balkan folk ensembles. So there's a couple of like melodies and involving intervals where it's kind of based on that style. But yeah, like most of it, it's all original. There's one part it's meant as like a prelude that we have a song about it's the Eastern European water nymphs, where they kind of seduce men and drag you down, kind of like the Greek sirens, but a little bit more morbid. So the precursor to that the precursor to that track, it's a little Russian traditional melody that very haunting. It's like witches in a field kind of doing some kind of weird seance, and it's a nice prelude to the actual song.
Mm-hmm. Is that Negreane Nigeli?
Yeah, that's the one. It's the prelude to Rusalka, which is the name for the water nymphs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we even have a bit of like some gothic and doom vibes too, because some of us fancy that kind of thing, and we also had the lovely support on Rusalka. And the Troubled Lad, even. We have an amazing violin player from the scene. His name is Quinn Straw. He's in another band called Aaron's Wake. Really good guys. So, yeah, we had some traditional violins, and it's a nice miasma of metal and folk elements.
Yeah. So was having guest musicians on the album something that was planned, or as you guys were working on it, you thought, this could really use insert here?
Yeah, that's usually the case. Like you come up with it was an onslaught of epic material, and I'm like, yeah, our own abilities only go so far that, it's missing that something. So why not get the community involved and have some friends and fellow musicians help out? So we have like operatic vocals, we have grindcore screeching vocals, we have violins. It's very bombastic and a massive thing.
Okay, fantastic. Now, take us through this album, Transcending the Ruins. Is there a theme across where maybe each track is about transcending the ruins, or is it just a really cool album title?
I think a majority of the tracks have to deal with it, not necessarily all of them. Like, even take something like Troubled Lad, which it's about kind of leaving the comfortable life, behind and moving on to bigger things. So there's a lot of departure points. There's a lot of parts where it's, it can be a metaphor for even the metal scene, as if it wasn't bad enough. After all this Corona stuff, who knows what's going to be left? But, the true proper metal will always be a part of you. So a lot of songs deal with kind of growing up and moving on. I think that's essentially it.
Yeah, very cool. Now, since this album is coming out in October, one of my questions about that, since for some bands that was the plan already, for other bands it was several months delay because of how this year has gone. So I'm curious, which is it? Is this what was intended, or has this year maybe changed the plan for Protokult? And if so, has that allowed you to work on maybe some other things more in depth?
Oh yeah, totally. It's like, it's funny how fate works, because you can have all these plans and then stuff gets sidetracked. The whole summer was basically, canceled because we were supposed to release it in June, July, and then, play a bunch of shows on the East Coast in Ontario and Canada and see where it goes. But of course, at the same time, it kind of benefited us because our producer was taking his sweet time, because he works for a big studio, had other clients, and I think with Corona, he actually had the time to really sit down and finish the mixing and the mastering. So it kind of benefited us at the same time, and then eventually we're just like, we've been analyzing these mixes over and over. Let's just get it out there, because for the creator, the artist, 9 out of 10 times you can always pick something you want different. But some people have heard it, and we just decided, let's get this out there, and we can always support it next year, and we'll be supporting it for quite a while. So.
Looks like Union Sound Studios. Is that correct?
That's the one. Yeah, he's worked with some great Canadian bands like Ammo, Skullfist, Pop. He's a really good dude. He knows his metal, and we were very fortunate to have him on our team.
Yeah, very cool. Did you guys actually record the album at Union Sound, or was it just mixed and mastered there?
No, it was mostly recorded and mixed, and then we mastered it with our buddy Tyler.
Okay, very, very cool stuff. Now, that basically concludes all of my questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to chat about?
How's the Alberta scene out there? Because we've always wanted. I know you guys used to have some festivals and stuff, but it's driving across those damn provinces. It's tough, man.
It sure is. We have lots of festivals over here between BC and also as well in Alberta, which unfortunately were all shut down this year for obvious reasons. But if you are able to, and actually John Asher, the guy that you guys are working with for promo, he does promo for majority of those festivals. So what I would recommend is just shooting him an email and saying, hey, for 2021, given that everything is going to be okay, how do we get on to some of these festivals? Because there's quite a few, and a lot of local Edmonton bands and Calgary bands and Vancouver bands are often headlining on the rosters.
Right on. That's good to hear. That's still pumping and alive out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Yeah. There was one recently that had a lot of cool stuff called, I think it's Louder Than Hell, and it's in Drumheller, so you can go check out some dinosaurs at the same time.
Oh, awesome. Amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Groovy. All right. Well, Martin, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
My pleasure, John.